Marcel. Thank you for joining me. I hope you all have had a wonderful week. Once again, my movie suggestion is Slow Burn, starring the late Ray Liotta. Thank you for joining me. This is a hypothetical question, and every now and again, Queen will bring you commentary pertaining to a what if situation. So, what if you attend service? It could be Sunday service, Wednesday service, Saturday service, depending on your denomination. And during the service, your pastor, bishop, rabbi, preacher decides to tell you that he or she is gay. They are homosexual. Do you stay during service? Do you jump up and scream? Do you yell at the pastor? Do you ask questions? Do you storm out? And mainly, do you return to your said church? What are you going to do? Are you questioning God? Are you questioning your faith yourself? What are you saying to yourself? What? Zenobia, hello, darling. Thank you for joining me. God is good. Thank you, honey. Thank you. What are you saying to yourself? I'm not going back to church. I'm done. I'm done with it on TV. I ain't sending nobody no money. I ain't doing nothing. But I still have faith. I brought you a video of your African American male, don't know his name, don't know where he preaches, but the video has gone viral, and I decided to share that commentary with you on last week's live. Feel free to check it out. So this week, I decided to go deeper into the belly of the beast because we hear a lot of commentary about Black pastors being caught in the act with the pants down, with men, women, also even with children. So that's why I decided to make this live this evening. You like your church, you love your church, you like the people at your church, you like the good things that your church is for you. You also like your pastor, love your pastor. Hello, No Perspective. Thank you for joining me. But now you're getting this news that he, she, because there are women who do preach as well, he's gay. I want to thank everybody for coming today. What I have to tell you is very disturbing news, and I hope that you will continue to love me and continue to come into church. But I am, and I'm going to say I'm proudly a homosexual. Damn, Queen, that sounds pretty good. I am gay, everybody. Please don't leave the church. We need your coins. What you say, Pastor? Because you know there's a little old lady. What you say, Willis? I know I didn't hear you say you gay. What you say? All these years I've been following you, patronizing, tithing, showing up for this meeting, that meeting, the building fund, the playroom fund, the lawn care fund, the light bill fund, the water fund. Come on, stop it now. Shut your mouth. And you won't tell me you gay? Oh, hell no, I want my money back. You know, I have a few old folks in the church say, I'd like a refund because you've been lying and deceiving us, you dirty scoundrel. Now imagine that the pastor is with wife, with kids, because most pastors are married. I've yet to go to a church with a single pastor leading the church. So imagine he is married. Him got a wife and kid. Or has she known all along she's been married to a homosexual and she just dealt with it? Somebody made a comment in the chat, I can't remember, but somebody said, you know, Queen, there are some women who are attracted to gay men. They want a gay man. And of course, you know, the Queen had a response. Not I. Why would I want a gay man? What would be the point? Why would I want somebody that wants, which is a man? I say we would have some problems. Or as old folks would say, there will be some smoke in the city. Shut your mouth. Get those thumbs up, everybody. Welcome to the Vault Excel. What would you do? All jokes aside, you are showing up to service Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whichever day you all hold church. You are settled into your seat, waiting to hear the good news from the pastor, waiting to hear the announcements, waiting to hear some good singing, waiting to hear a good preaching. And the pastor says, before I get started, I just want to tell you something. I've been lying to you all. I've been deceiving you all. You been doing what? You're some old ladies. What you say? What you done, Pastor? I like men. Oh, hell no. Is the church still standing? Somebody answer me. Is the church still standing? You know that old saying in Black folks church, the doors of the church are open. You can come to Jesus moment when they want you to join the church, turn over your life. This would probably be the moment when somebody say, somebody need to open these doors because I'm getting the hell out of here. Don't even think about passing the collection plate. You ain't getting $1 from me because you've been lying to me. Because that's what's in the Bible. Hello, Lisa. It's all analytical. Most of the things in the Bible have an analytical tone. Take the poll on my community page. Do you stay during the service when the pastor tells you he is gay or she's gay? What do you do? Do you stay doing service? Weigh in, everybody. Do you stay during service? Do you jump up? Do you scream? Do you holler? Do you start swearing at the pastor? I knew it. I knew something was wrong with you. I knew it. I knew it was something about you that wasn't right. Lisa says she's going to get up. You're going to get up, Lisa? You're going to walk out during service? What if you get to the door and the doors are locked? What if he's got people holding your back? Y'all going to stay in here and hear what I got to say. Y'all going to listen to me tell my story. Most people going to say, no, I'm not saying. I'm going to climb over into the choir section and crawl out that way because they got an entryway. Come on, you know I know. You going to open this damn door and let me out of here. You ain't getting ready to sell me no wooden nickels. Or shall I say wooden dimes? Do you stay during the service? Weigh in. I don't even have a handful of people watching, but that's okay. I know as the day goes on, the evening goes on, you all will gladly be commenting under this live stream. What do you do during the service? Do you jump up? Do you holler? Do you scream? Do you ask for a refund? Do you cuss the pastor out? What do you do? Now I'm just done. I'm going to plead the blood of Jesus. Okay, Miss Frazier. Do you just happily get up out of your chair? Hello, Vicky. You just happily get up out of your chair and say, well, as the scripture says, this too shall pass. I'm just going to go ahead and get on up out of here and get on out. I would stay because I've got good manners, but I probably wouldn't go back. Well, Neil, thank you for being honest. You said you would stay. And I think some people will probably be embarrassed to just jump up and just get up and go, storm out. God forbid you trip over your pocketbook, your cane, trying to get out of there. Because I think in awkward moments, And we all have been in awkward moments where we've been somewhere, we were invited somewhere and things didn't go well. Maybe it was a function, you were invited to somebody selling a product, and then you get there and you're really not enjoying the entertainment, the sales pitch, and you're in an awkward situation. And you don't want to be the first one to get up. I've been in that situation. It wasn't church, but it was this guy I know who played pro football. It was some pitch about selling water or some type of water product, and I was bored. I was upset that I had gotten dressed up, put on some nice clothes, go to this hotel, and they're talking about selling water. And I thought, Queen don't want to sell water. And I felt awkward. And I would think this would probably fit into the awkward situation. You're sitting in church you like. Lisa, please. Lisa said I would be polite as I was leaving. So you saying you ain't gonna act, you ain't gonna cuss, you ain't gonna be cussing the pastor out with your back to I went to awkward churches. And that's another thing. Very good point. Thank you for mentioning that. You can be in lots of awkward situations where you want to get up. Exactly. Meetings, sale pitches, going to somebody's house, going just in a place where you don't feel comfortable, you don't like the vibe, and you know it's going to feel weird. You're the first one to jump up. So I get that. In awkward church services, I think some of us have been in situations where we're sitting there and we're not liking that vibe. And we're saying to ourselves, especially if we were invited with someone and came with them, that's very awkward, because who's going to tap somebody on their shoulder? Excuse me, I don't like your church. Can you take me home? And you can come back. Now you're sitting there trying to pretend to praise the Lord. Somebody dry church. And I shouldn't say dry church, because everybody have their preferences on how they like to praise the Lord. Some churches play music, some don't. I'm Baptist. We play musical instruments. Now, you go to Church of Christ, they just singing from the good book and slapping their knee. Hometown singing. No guitar, no piano, no keyboard. Because I got a malfunction here. Cheers. What do my Christian folks say? Run out the church. You can't wait to get on the phone and call Susie Mae, Shamiqua, everybody. Go to Facebook. You on Facebook. Good, you won't believe what that pastor done told us today. He done told us he likes men. I'll be damned, all this time I've been going to this church, and he got the nerve to come out and tell us he's a homosexual. Oh, you know that's on Facebook. And I'm gonna tell you what else gonna come up on Facebook. Whoever him been laying with beside he wife. Oh, somebody gonna tell it. Thank you, Pastor, for finding everybody you gave. Now I can tell everybody that we've been messing around. We lovers. Cheers. I have lemonade. I'm not telling nothing. Game over. Girl, Lisa, you're so sick. So, Lisa, you're not going to go tell people the pastor told the parishioners he's gay? Why not? Tell the queen why not. You're not going to tell anybody? You're not going to tell your family, your mom, whomever, sister? Girl, let me tell you what the pastor did in church today. He done got up there in that pulpit and told us him like men's. Well, you know the little old lady's going to tell it. They can't wait to hobble out of there. They sitting over a plate of greens and cornbread and fried chicken and macaroni and cheese talking mad junk about pastor. That son of a bitch had the nerve to come up in there talking about him like men's. I'll be damned. You said, I'm going to expose on a billboard. Oh, But you know, people will tell. They're going to put it on Facebook, IG, because that is what people do. They're going to call people on the phone. They're going to get in Messenger. They're going to tell it. And God forbid the camera rolling, because a lot of services are recorded in the church. Some people bring their phones and like to pull it out to show, record the pastor talking. So I'm sure it's live, like Memorex. Pastor said, I got an announcement. I've been lying to you. I've been a dirty, dirty son of a gun. Please forgive me. I'm a sinner. So no, you're crazy. She said, I'm texting my sister as soon as I get out of church. Why you ain't calling her? Because she had another church. Listening to a straight preacher preach. You know that church is about to blow up. You know that church is 2 minutes from catching on fire. I'd be the first one trying to get up out of there. Excuse me, hobbling with my bad knee. Get out the way when you move, please. Queen said, get out the damn way. I got to go for these chandeliers fall out the ceiling. Oh, excuse me. That's the first thing I'm thinking. Wait a minute. Who holding them light bulbs up there? I got to go before the chandelier fall, the ceiling cave in, and Satan come up out the ground doing a little dance. Hell no, I got to go. And I wish somebody would try to block me, trying to say, well, ma'am, just hear him out. Yeah, and I'm scared of water too. Girl, please don't do that. Ma'am, look, be just my luck and be a little young one, little teenager, little 20-something-year-old. Ma'am, just hear him out. I'll be like, do you want to see 30? Do you want to see 30, little girl? Little boy, get your ass away. You know, Queen, I'm a big girl. And I'm hobbling at the same time. The elbows still work. You hear me? Get your ass out the way and let me out of here. I'm gone. Now, Queen, where you going? To get something to eat? I'm hungry. It's lunch. It's after 11 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock. I'm sitting here with this foolishness. Big girl need to put something in her bill. I ain't got time for this foolishness. I would be disappointed, all jokes aside. Because that's what we do. We put our faith in man, but it's in the scripture about putting your faith in man. This is why God does not want us upholding people, okay? Worshiping people, other gods, statues. This is why. Because he knows they're not real. You don't know, perhaps. The pastor is no different than your man, your lover, your friend, your parents, your family, your neighbor, your co-worker, church members. We are all flawed. We are all sinners. We all have bad thoughts. We show out, we cuss, we act a fool, we're violent, we're wicked. But you expect better from the pastor because you're looking to him or her to be the light, to lead the flock, because that's the job that he or she chose. So yes, I'm putting him or her up on that pedestal. I'm hoping he or she will be righteous. I know he's probably got some flaws. I could tell you about the pastor of my church. He gets real jiggy. He'll let you know that yellow boy is something else, honey. I'm going to give you a for instance. This was a few years ago. Church was crowded. A lot of people at church. And some people were coming in to the left of the building, coming in, to be seated. So everybody, I ain't gonna say people turned their heads to look at the people coming down the aisle to, look for them a seat. Honey, my pastor said, what y'all looking at? Bruh is hell. You hear me? He said, what y'all looking at? What y'all looking at over there? What y'all looking over there for? I'm up here. Honey, Pastor Ruff. He said, what y'all looking over there at them for? I'm up here. He letting you know he the star of the show. You don't need to be looking for a seat. What we do, we're humans. We look. We move our heads. A baby cries, we look. A baby falls out, we look in that direction. People coming in, a drove of people, because there was a lot of people coming in. So you just naturally just look over to see who's coming in the church. But Pastor letting you know, you don't need to be looking over there. What you looking over there for? I mean, he's so mess with himself. And I tell him, you can get right, bro. He from Alabama, so they get crunk in Alabama. Birmingham too. Look, they putting people in the concrete every day in Birmingham, and we're going to let it sit right there. So Pastor came from the good side of the tracks, but he done lived, and we're going to leave it at that. Pastor put you in your place. Just like one day in service, he said, talking about homosexuality, he says that, in the Bible, God didn't talk about it often. I think he said maybe 2 times that God talked about it in the Bible. He says, but I'm going to say this pertaining to homosexuality. You do what you want. That's your journey. But what you're not going to do is sit up in my pulpit and preach and be a gay man. He said, that's all I'm going to say about homosexuality. Basically saying he ain't getting ready to throw daggers. That's your life. That's your journey. But he letting you know you got that flavor. You ain't in his pulpit trying to read from the good book. Thank you, Pastor. And of course, what? I used to always wonder about my pastor too. Is my pastor a good boy? Is he a good guy? I ain't been to church in a couple of years, but I still call him my pastor, and I still call that my church. But I wonder if he's been a good boy, if you understand what I'm saying. Because, people talk about things, doesn't mean that it's true. But I have seen some things in a small town pertaining to a pastor. He's no longer alive. He was a dirty old son of a something. Sleeping with a parishioner, everybody knew it, and everybody was still going to church. And we're going to talk about that too, since we got this door open. Ooh, I'm getting a little warm. Let me pull my cape off. Because I was trying to sit outside and go live. Honey, Queen knew it because it was too brisk out there. Hold on a minute, honey, let me get comfortable. As I was saying, you hear this a lot, a man is a man, which there is no reason to keep saying that, because it's as if you're putting men on pedestals to do wrong and be unfaithful, because that's what a lot of men have done. It's still wrong. But a pastor sleeping with a parishioner and you know about it and you hearing things and there's some verification, excuse me. And he also brought another pastor in who started sleeping around with another church member. So it was like a tag team type situation. This is nasty to me. And I just think it's crazy that these people were going to this church with this foul pastor. How can you go to church and tithe knowing your pastor is sleeping with a church member? You seen the car up at the girl's house. Y'all said he would park around the building. She had a steep little drive up to, it was in this little town, the houses were made like duplexes. So they converted, into one house. So he put up one end where they had it paved. And then allegedly she had it paid to go around the back of the house. So I guess they were saying pastor would drive his car around the back and try to conceal his car. The point is, it's a small town. So it's going to be kind of hard for pastor to park his car anywhere on the street, in the drive, without somebody seeing the car. You're going there often, people are going to start talking, especially if it ain't nobody sick in the house, ain't nobody dying. Okay? Ain't nobody in hospice. Hell yeah, people going to talk. People put him with this young lady. And I used to tell people, y'all got to be lying. Please tell me no. So my friend, she lived out of town, but her mother still, went to the church. And she had to talk with me. We had to talk about the situation because she used to go to the church, before she moved to another state. And she said, that's one reason why I have a problem with him. I had a problem with him because of those rumors that he was messing with a certain young lady. So obviously she believed him too, although she was not, attending the church anymore and living somewhere else. But there were many people who said they would see them at the Applebee's, he and the girl. And of course, you're never supposed to assume anything because you see people out to eat, after dinner. Pastor could be mentoring someone. They just happen to go to the Shoney's, Applebee's, or O'Charlie's. But the point is, when people start seeing you often at a certain restaurant, yes, people are going to talk. That's number one. Now your car is at that same person's house daily for lunch. Other times, she's a healthy young African-American female. We don't know that she's dying of cancer or lupus or anything like that. You see where I'm going? Here comes the gossip. Now imagine he has grown children. How are you walking around in a small community having sex with your parishioner? You're going out to eat with the person in public, and then you're parking your car in their driveway to get your freak on, and you think people are talking, and then you have the nerve to still go back to the church and try to preach the good book? And you all are sitting here and you know that he's sleeping with this young lady, and you're sitting in the church. Hell, I'm not sitting up here in this church. You're not getting $1 from me. You're not getting $1, 50 cents, 5 cents. You're not getting nothing from me. And I still have a problem with these small-minded individuals who still were going to this church until he died. Now, fast forward the end of his life. Guess how he died? I'll let somebody take a guess in the chat while I take a sip of my drink. How do you think the pastor passed away? Let's see, it's a leak in this old building. Hello, Neo. How do you all think this pastor passed away? True story. I only bring you the truth as I know it. How did this dirty, sneaky pastor pass away? So no, like the guy did on The Color Purple. They found pastor at the bottom of the stairs in the church, going into the downstairs community room, in the canteen. Yeah, it was payback. He either lost his balance or he had a heart attack. It was one of those. But somebody came into the church and found pastor at the bottom of the stairs, deceased. Either way, if he lost his balance while grabbing his heart, or he tripped and fell down and died, that's a hell of a way to go either way. But see, God don't like ugly. And like I said, we're all flawed. None of us are perfect. but he had a duty. See, if he wanted to be just old ratchet sinner on his own time, that would have been between him and God. Do you understand? And in the end, it was still between him and God. But he was playing with God. Do you see what I'm saying? He was playing with God by standing in the pulpit, preaching to the masses what you should and shouldn't do and what God wanted from you. He was living a lie. He was a liar. He was a deceiver. He was a thief because you're stealing the love from people for you and for the love of God that you are the messenger. People cared about you. They had faith in you. They put you up on that pedestal that you did not belong. You were married, had children. You were walking around the town, sleeping with this young woman, old enough to be her daddy. Everybody knew, everybody was talking about it. Because when I first heard it, I told folks they weren't lying. I said, I know y'all lying. And then when my family said, honey, it ain't no lie, because my relative had a bullseye view of her driveway. Exactly. He is held to a higher standard over the flock. Exactly. I don't expect that man to be perfect, just like I don't expect my pastor or any other pastor to be perfect. I don't expect any of us to be perfect. But when you make that choice, that's where there's the problem. You have chosen to be a pastor, a bishop, a priest. That's your choice. That's not my choice. I didn't tell you to go to theologian school. You did that, not me. So I expect something better from you. I expect you to be more understanding, more compassionate, non-judgmental, because that's what you were taught. That's what the good book teaches us, teaches you to be. And you're seeing this more and more now with people in the church who are in a position to preach and bring the word. They're whores. They're male whores. They're making babies. They want salacious type of sex. They like young women, young men, young boys, young girls. Having affairs, sleeping with the church members, using their power, rubbing the neck, rubbing the back. Oh, everything's going to be okay. We'll pray about it. Then he's asking you for your phone number. Let's meet up. We can read the Bible together. Shh, don't tell nobody. And in your weakest moment, you fall for it when you know you don't need to be meeting the pastor no damn where. Pastor don't need to be coming to your house. You don't need to be meeting pastor at the boat dock, at the lake, at the pond, at the river. Don't do it. Because this is what you have to tell yourself when the pastor's getting a little fresh and he won't start stroking shoulder blades, rubbing your hair. Oh, you're so pretty. You smell good. Know that he's done that to somebody else. And I'm not saying the pastor couldn't have that 1 week moment where he is attracted to this young lady, older lady, whomever. He is actually attracted to her. But he knows it's wrong. He knows. I'm not supposed to be looking at her in this way. I'm a married man. She is my parishioner. No, Satan, leave me alone. But you got to tell yourself as well, I can't do this because this is pastor. You want to go use and manipulate some other young lady, older woman, whomever, let him. But I am not going to be that person because I know I don't need to be doing nothing with this man. I may be weak. I may be lonely, need a man, want a man, but I can't do nothing with the pastor. I've heard stories of pastors from my church not being so savory. Yes. They are men. Women like men. And women are attracted to men in power. You see this all the time. A man in a high position. Seems like the woman gets more turned on. She's going to. You got to talk to God about that. These feelings I have for the pastor. I'm attracted to him, but I want you to remove the stone. Dirty motor oil. Good God. I met with my pastor and she was upset, like that I burned my skin. I burned my sin journal. She said I must start a new one. And my first entry should be about my sin. I'm burning my sin. Hell, I'm tired. Amen. Oh, I don't know nothing about that, baby. Well, it's really none of her business about you having a journal. You don't have to have a journal about your sins. If you want to have a journal to write down what you're doing and your thought process, that is your choice. But nobody needs to be giving you instructions about a journal, a sin journal, or any of that. Because what's next? I want to know what's in the journal. Did she ask you or he asked you about what's in the journal? You have a brain. You know what you're doing, what you're not doing. I had a pastor make a pass at me and it creeped me out. I never went back. Wow, that's deep, Lisa. How long ago was that, Lisa? I haven't had any issues with any pastors making any passes at me. Thank you, Jesus. Not to my recollection. But you know, we're human. We can look at people and imagine ourselves with them. Have you not done that as a woman? Men do it all the time. You can see a man and just imagine, could I date him? Could I be attracted to him? Even if he's not even your type. You just imagine. Pastor be the same thing. Could I make a pass at the pastor? Would the pastor reciprocate? Naturally, you don't want to tell anybody that. I'm attracted to the pastor. I thought about the pastor in that way. I had a dream about the pastor. Those are natural feelings, such as dreams, things like that. Doesn't mean it means anything. It's the acting out is where there's a problem. Can't be calling the pastor for things that are not relevant to your health, your livelihood, your sanity. You understand what I'm saying? You know better. 2004, okay. Most are creeps for sure. Look at the Catholics, they like boys so much. Yes, it's been known. Now, I grew up in a Catholic school, growing up in Chicago as most formed from Catholic growing up to Baptist living here in the South. And I realized that the Catholics, looking back and listening to people who are Catholic now, they focus a lot on Mary, and Mary is not the highlight. Yes, she did a noble thing by carrying this baby boy, but she was not Jesus and she is not God. And the Catholic Church puts a lot of, really, I say, faith and light on Mary, and that's not supposed to be the hype. Because actually, you're praying to Mary. That's where Hail Mary comes from. Hail Mary, full of grace, blah, blah, blah. And I thought about that years ago. I said, all that time I've been praying to Mary? I'm not supposed to be praying to Mary. No. I'm supposed to be praying to Mary. This pastor's wife and 5 adult children working in the church. Oh, wow. But I see and hear a lot of stories, especially in these videos and shorts, Newsbreak, YouTube, Facebook, of these Black pastors who are just nasty. And a lot of the stories I'm hearing is not just him messing around with women, but they're sexually assaulting children, and it's a lot of homosexuality, bisexuality. Don't know if these men are just using women to hide their true identity, but it's foul. And I don't care what anyone says. At some point, you like a boy, a man. You're not going to sit here and wait till you get 50 something years old and decide you want to start confessing. Oh, by the way, I like men. I would be pissed off. And I just refuse to believe that a woman doesn't see qualities in her husband that are feminine. And yes, we have some men who may be more nurturing, more docile. Doesn't mean that they're gay. They just have a different nature. But you see these guys who are strong and muscular and they're firm and stoic, and they just as gay as a butterfly. Shut your mouth, Queen. And you seen it, walking around with muscles. Next thing you know, he wearing a tube top and a dress and makeup and a wig, and you looking like, Negro, yo, no damn well you can't be walking around in no damn dress. You don't even look right. You walk around with a dress on and makeup with a damn mustache, beard, 5 o'clock shadow. This ain't for you, bro. But I'm hearing these stories more and more of these men, these pastors that are gay, and it's disturbing. And I feel like you need to live your truth. You cannot be hiding behind an innocent woman because you don't want to come out and be known as a homosexual. These men in Atlanta, they out flaming with pocketbooks, high heels, makeup. It's really quite disturbing because, I don't agree with all that. The gay part, that's your private business, but the makeup and all that pocketbook and purse carrying and makeup and all this, I'm quitting with all that theatrics. That's silliness to me. You telling me I'm your sister, your sis, and all that? No, honey. No. Yeah, it's too many stories, and that's the problem. Every time you look up, somebody's got, they're outing somebody, such as these little men. They can't wait to tell. Oh, yeah, honey, I've been messing with the pastor, and we've been doing this, and he need to tell folks that he gay, and I'm sick of him hiding me, or they sick of men hiding them. That's how you end up dead, taking pictures while laying in the bed with them. I saw that in a Newsbreak video about a week ago. The black guy's taking a picture, and the light-skinned dude is laying behind him with braids, sleep on a pillow, and people were commenting. Oh, I mean, it was comments, baby. People were like, they're gonna find you dead if you ain't already. Why are you taking a picture of you in the bed with this man? And in the caption, he's saying, oh, well, I'm tired of him hiding me and not showing me to his friends. He's not going to show you to his friends. He has not come out the closet. So he ain't getting ready to say, yeah, homeboy, this my boy here. This my girlfriend. Why is he going to tell that? He's still hiding that he like men. You the one settling for this. You have to own your part as well. You are a full-blown homosexual man, you are out the closet, then you go choose you a full-blown homosexual man who is out of the closet. You look stupid sneaking around with a man who's laying up with women, making babies, sleeping with women without condoms, sleeping with you without condoms. Now imagine the women who've been sleeping with this little light-skinned fella with the pretty braids. He ain't using no condom because a lot of men don't like using condoms, and we're going to go there too. Nobody still wants to use the condoms. You meet a man right now, first thing he know, he looking and what's up and honey getting in your bed and he don't want to pull out nothing. And you like, did you forget something, bro? I think you forgot something. Where's your umbrella? And I don't care if they're white, Hispanic, these men don't want to use condoms. So imagine you don't mind sleeping with anybody, everybody, and then you on the down low. So that means you sleeping with men and you know what men do and where the parts go. And that's how you get HIV. AIDS. The very reason how HIV started, 2 men joined. And then it kept going on and on and on until somebody said, whoo, I'm doing both, men and women. That's how women end up getting HIV. We're in a sick world. Be yourself. You like men and you're a man, then come on out. Stop pimping women, hiding behind a woman. Because only thing you're doing is jeopardizing somebody's livelihood, somebody's safety, because you're living a lie. And it's no different than if you were out here sleeping with different women, another woman, you're still jeopardizing another woman's safety because you're lying to her, you're deceiving her. Now let's count that you are a father. That's even triple threat because you're lying to your wife, you're lying to your child. Now you're a pastor, so you're lying to the church, you're lying to your wife, you're lying to the kids. Whoop, you got family members. Then there's the community, and then there's God. And it ain't no lying to him. Come on out. And you pastors that want to keep messing around with all these different women. You got all these beautiful women in the church. And you know it. It's mainly women in church. It is what it is. A lot of men, they ain't met God yet. They don't want to be in church. To each his own. So the church is full of women, and the pastor's just looking around, hell, like he on Facebook. He just like, woo, Lord, look at all these pretty gals. All these big old hams and legs and buttocks and breasts, they just beautiful. And he want to touch them. Reach out. Get a squeeze. Still wrong. So we will talk to the straight pastor too. You need to live your truth. You want to be single, then be single. But you still can't be single, sir, and sleeping around with different women, making babies, going through the court system, child support, court, making babies and supposed to be leading the church, the flock. You don't get no pass either because you're straight. So the rules apply to a gay pastor and a straight pastor. And you see that too. Some of these pastors, they're straight. They like women, but they're not ready to lock up John Boy. They out here flipping the women up like pancakes. Over here, over here, over here. Then finally they meet that one. He been lying to her. She don't know. He got a slew of women he been messing with. And then he marries her. He's still screwing them. And they stupid enough to go ahead and keep screwing them, knowing he done married old Mary over here. And then Mary later finds out, go through a phone, or God forbid somebody calls her or show up to a job and tell her, oh, I've been messing with your husband. I've been messing with the pastor. For how long? 2 years, 3 years. And this is when they were dating and courting. So I'm speaking to all pastors, rabbis, priests, bishops. If you are single, you're still supposed to be living a certain lifestyle if you're going to be talking about the good book. If you are a married pastor and you like women, sir, you need to keep your wee-wee locked up. If you are also gay and hiding behind a wife and children, you need to come on out and tell your truth. Because you are deceiving innocent people and you don't have a right to do that because really you're pimping everybody. You're pimping Jesus. You're pimping your wife. You're pimping your children. You're pimping the church. You can't do that. Now, for you little busybodies that are lonely and desperate and want a man and want a husband, and you either a woman or a man, stop going to church looking under pastor's robe, trying to get up under pastor's robe. You know better. He may be nice looking, but he's off limits. I don't care if he's known to flirt. You don't have to reciprocate. And frankly, you should feel some type of way going to a church where the pastor's flirtatious. You should say to yourself, well, Lord, guide me somewhere else. Because I don't want to be in a church where the pastor's flirtatious and there are rumors that he gets around. Now, we know that people can talk and they can make up things. But like I said, if you get proof, you might need to find you another church because you're trying to live right and you want somebody that cares about you and your salvation. Now, for you little busy ass men that like to twirl around and carry pocketbooks and high heels, you know you ain't got no business messing with the pastor and you ain't got no business flirting with the pastor. And I don't give a damn if you think pastor is gay. No, 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 and hell no. You're supposed to be going to get the word. Yeah, I'm talking to everybody. You're supposed to be trying to go get the word and get filled with joy. Not literally. Everybody needs to stay in their lane. Church is is for redemption. You want to be comfortable. You want to be loved. You want to feel good when you go to church. You see any type of hanky-panky shenanigans, whether it's the pastor, the secretary, the what you call it? The I can't even think. Excuse me. What you call them? The ushers and the deacons. Golly, I can't think. Okay. We ain't gotta free him. He dead. If you don't feel comfortable in your church for whatever reason, just things you don't agree with, you can bring it to somebody's attention, get their opinion, go to the pastor, whatever it is. Because you do have a voice, especially if you are, child is stupid. You are a member, if you're a member, talk to your pastor. Because everybody should have some type of rapport with their pastor, okay? You want to be able to talk to your pastor about anything, personal problems, health problems, things you're seeing in the church, don't like about the church. Voice your opinion. And also churches should have suggestion boxes because some people may not feel comfortable going to the pastor about certain things. So have a suggestion box, suggest a suggestion box, and you put it in there. And then the pastor and his board members and different people of the church, y'all can sit around. Pastor, you as a parishioner, you're supposed to be going to the church to get the word. Nothing more than that. You're not supposed to be going there and them folks, especially the pastor, making passes, passing notes, getting in DMs. Don't do that. Because you should know that if you do this, you'll probably get the same bad luck down the road. When you start a life, a family with somebody, it'll probably happen to you as well. And you'll be very disappointed. And you'll get to think back to the day when you were out trying to chase a pastor. It was wrong. You knew it was wrong. So don't do it, okay? You little dusty men, you don't have no business chasing the pastor. I don't care if you think the pastor is gay. That's between him and God. Go find you a full, outed man to chase and hunt. Go to church for the right reason, to get filled with joy, to get the word. That's what you're supposed to attend church. Why you should attend church is to get the word. Okay, everybody. Sorry, I'm sniffling. I was outside, it was cold. I was going to go live from outside, but honey, that wind was blowing. I was like, ooh, honey, I got to come inside. I want to thank you all so much for the love. Follow me on the Newsbreak app. Follow me here. Like, share, subscribe. Drop your comments below this video. Take the polls on my community page. And tell me what you think about the latest developments in true crime that I've discussed. As I told you, I was trying to take this network to a more low-key type of hypothetical situation, kind of what I was doing when I first came to YouTube. I just talked about basic things. I wasn't really talking about true crime. And I really like the hypothetical because I don't have to dwell on the same subject every day, when there are no answers, such as certain cases I talk about. But before I go, I had some questions pertaining to pastors, and I want to read the results of those said questions and answers. Thank you for joining me. Once again, prayers for Nancy Guthrie. Oh, the latest with Neo, he did not plead the fifth when he attended court recently. He was examined for 40 minutes on the witness stand, and it's being said by a source per TMZ, he did answer questions, but as Strategic Eyes said, check out his channel, did he tell the truth? Did he tell the truth while on the witness stand? This young man who's a friend, associate of David, the singer. Did he tell the truth? I believe these two have fallen out, David and Neo. Don't know what happened, but I got a feeling He knows something about Celeste. He possibly met her. And that's what I would want to hear from the district attorney. Did you ever meet the young lady? Did you ever hang with her, drink with her, get high with her, have sex with her? Did you have sex with David? Are you two dating? Dated? What's your relationship with him? Do you date women? You have to ask all those questions. That way, you don't leave a stone unturned for him to double back and be like, oh, well, I didn't mean da 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 da. You ask everything. Thank you, sweetheart. You ask all the questions. That way, he can't wiggle his way out of anything. Mr. Fisher knows who parked David's car. So this is why I said in my live the other day, I want a rebuttal from Mr. Fisher, since Neo is saying he don't know nothing. See, know nothing, that ain't telling me anything. Do you know of Celeste? Did you ever meet her, hear of her? Did you ever hear David talk about her? Telling me, oh, I don't know nothing about what happened to her and how she got in the trunk and all that. Hopefully the district attorney asks all the questions. Do you know this young lady? Have you seen her? Did you ever see her in his house, his apartment, in his car? Did he ever talk about her? Did he ever talk about dating young girls, underage girls? Did you ever sleep with underage girls? Do you sleep with boys or girls? See, you got to ask all the questions. It could have been a lover's quarrel. I believe David is homosexual. Neo's homosexual. Perhaps this little girl realized this ain't my type of party. Maybe she heard that he was dating this boy, or another boy, a man or whatever, and dating this other Celeste chick. She got mad and things jumped off. They got to fighting, got to tussling. He hit her, beat her up. See, we don't know. Yes, it's very sad. Check out my community page. I went to Goodwill today and bought a few little goodies, nothing elaborate, but I bought a metal piece of artwork. I posted it to my community page. I also bought a comforter, 2 matching shams. It's a faux fur comforter, gray. And then I had 2 other shams that are black and white. They've been bleached already, honey. That's why I'm just now going live, because I was making sure they got bleached really nice and they turned out really well. Go to my community page to look at the photographs of my finds. Curry Richards has been found guilty of unaliving her husband. This was uploaded 3 days ago, Court TV. Once again, my movie of the week is Slow Burn. It came out in 2005. Check my community page because the trailer is on there. The next live, we're going to talk about children and their sexuality. I got 97 votes on this question. Your boy child asks for girl clothes. Do you buy them? Yes, 7%. No, 57%. Not sure, 9%. No, with an explanation why I will not, 27%. Your boy child asks for a girl doll. Do you buy it? Yes, 53%. Wow, I'm shocked at that. 44% no, 2% not sure. Are you an open racist? If you answer no, you're admitting that you are a racist, just not an overt one. 14% said yes, they are racist. 29% saying you're not a racist. Well, basically you're saying you are, you're just not overt, 29% of you. Then 57% of you said sometimes, depending on my moods. 7 people voted. You are a white female and find out your friend is in an Aryan group, organization. Do you break off the relationship? 90% of you said yes. 3% no, 6% not sure. Would you attend or join a church knowing the pastor is gay? 43% of you said yes. What the hell is going on with you all? 37% no, 20% not sure. 30 people voted. And once again, Queen went to see Scream 7 last Saturday. It's pretty good. The next live stream, we're going to talk about sexuality in children, the role you play as the parent. We're going to talk about buying toys that are geared for the opposite sex for your children because he or she asks. Boy asking for a baby doll. Girl. Now he wants girl clothes. Do you buy the girl clothes? Because some of you are kind of wishy-washy in your answers. Over here you say, yeah, I'll buy my boy a girl doll, but then I ask you, would you buy him girl clothes? And then you say no. You can't have it both ways. Because you see, one thing begets another. You start off with the girl toys. What makes you think your boy child is not going to ask you, Mommy, can I have a dress? I want a skirt. I want a purse. I want girls' shoes. I want to wear hair bows. Okay? Now, he may not be ready to start saying, hey, call me Jane. But you have to think about the role you play with your children when it comes to their sexuality and them being confused about who they are. You can't open Pandora's box and then try to close it when you don't agree with the next phase of your child's sexuality. This is why I said, sometimes y'all don't really think when you answer my polls. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back. I asked you all about buying girl clothes for a boy. 7% of you said yes, you would buy the girl clothes. But then I asked you before that about the girl doll. 53% of you said you would buy the damn doll. So make it make sense. 43 people voted. 53% of you said you would buy the doll for a boy. But then you go up here, more of you voted, 97 people voted, but only 7% said you would buy the clothes. So a smaller percentage said they would buy the clothes. So basically what you're saying is, I'll buy him the doll, but I won't buy him the clothes. They all gonna go hand in hand, sweetheart. Come on, you guys. Your boy child thinks he is a girl, or he wants to be a girl. So with the dolls comes hair bows, girl clothes, girl shoes, girl accessories. Wanting to be a girl. You can't have one without the other. So if you start buying him girl toys, he's going to want to now wear girl clothes. Come on now. These were not trick questions. But you all showing me your thought process. That you will buy a boy a girl doll, but you won't buy him girl clothes. And I think you know what's going to happen after you buy the doll. He's going to say, well, you bought me a doll, Mommy. Why can't I have a dress? I want a dress. I want a skirt. Why not? Why not? Why not? Then what are you going to say? You bought me a doll. Why can't you buy me the dress? Children are very smart these days. They're very swift. They come out the womb like little adults. They're intuitive. They're smart. That's going to be our conversation for this week and then this weekend. We're going to talk about children wanting to be a different identity and your role. And what role are you going to play? As you know, in this state, Tennessee, we have very strict rules and guidelines pertaining to children's sexuality. And in this state, you cannot get your child transition into the opposite sex, which I agree. There should be no surgeries performed on any child under 18 by a doctor, physician, surgeon to change the sex of a child, because you can change your mind at any given moment. And we've learned from many people who have had these surgeries, going to YouTube Q, they have adamantly said they regretted having the surgery. They have regretted getting their woo-ha's changed. Okay? Because you are trying to make something be that was never meant to be. Okay? I want to dress like the doll. My son gets no doll or girl clothes. Thank God my son is 36. Thank you, Lisa. But you understand what I'm saying? That you're trying to make this body be something that it was designed to be. That's why a woman can't get a sex change to be a guy, because one, she doesn't have enough flesh down there to mimic a penis, okay? So she's just stuck with wearing guy clothes, taking hormones to get hair. That's the most she can do. But many of these men who have gotten the surgery, yes, they live to regret it, literally, because it does not function as they intended it to. But it can't function. You're talking about messing with nature, going in and slicing and dicing a whole penis and testicles to mimic a vagina and expect urine to come out of there as if it was a woman's vagina. It wasn't designed to do that. And it baffles me that a man or even a boy would think that it's going to function like a vagina. How can it function? It wasn't made. You weren't made like a woman. How are you confused? I watched a video years ago, and I talked about this on my network years ago, of a young lady. I believe she was in New York, and it showed her journey. I believe it was on TLC, her journey of getting the surgery. She had a very hard time with the surgery. She had complications after the surgery, very supportive parents, but it was sad watching them navigate with their daughter, being by her sick as a dog. She kept bleeding down there because the wounds would not heal, because it wasn't meant to be. You weren't meant to get cut up like that. It's awful, Queen. The women can get a phalloplasty, or how they do it. Jazz Jennings. So I would tell anyone who's thinking about, especially a male, you're thinking about getting that surgery, don't do it. You want to dress up in women's clothes and live that way as a woman and be called a different name, that is your prerogative. But I do not recommend you as a male getting the surgery, because it may not work. And why do you want to mess with your own internal organs? That's just foolishness and just, to me, just downright ignorant. And that's what a lot of people who are gay and want to do all this transitioning need to understand. You're fooling with Mother Nature. And it used to be an old saying with the commercial back in the 70s, you don't want to fool with Mother Nature. Exactly. This is God's plan. He wanted you to be a girl. He would have given you a girly body, girly functions, organs. Same thing with the male, for the female. If he wanted you to have a penis and testicles, that's what he would have done. So you want to go in here and get a surgeon to reconstruct your body parts and expect them to work? That makes no logical sense. And I'm not telling you to fight being gay. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying don't alter your body parts. It's not worth it. Who wants a body part that's bleeding? You can't even enjoy the reconstruction because it won't even heal. The wounds won't heal. The stitching won't stay stitched. And I'm not trying to be derogatory, but somebody needs to hear this. How can you enjoy your new body if the body won't even stay stitched up? This is not what you want. The next slide, we will talk about children. Children who are not comfortable in their bodies, and a boy wants to be a girl and a girl wants to be a boy. How do you deal with it as a parent? And what is your opinion, whether you have children or not? Should a parent conform to this ideology that this child has formed in his or her brain, that they want to be the opposite sex? Should the parent comply? Thank you, Lisa. Should the parent comply with aiding their child to identify of the opposite sex? That will be the next live stream. Thank you for your time. Prayers for Nancy Guthrie, justice for her, Sebastian Rogers, Summer Wells. Thank you for following this network. If you'd like to donate, $Big Angie 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live. This has been a very informative live, I think. I hope I've helped give you some information. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a surgeon. I'm just giving you information from experiences, listening to other people's experiences, complaints, and their journeys and their stories, sharing them to the network. You can get a lot of informative information on YouTube. YouTube does serve some very good informative information pertaining to vast subject matters. And a lot of the information that I have brought to you pertaining to sex changes and stories of people who had the sex change to a female and it didn't work out or they didn't like it, it came from YouTube. So if you want to go into the search engine to pull up sex changes, you can find a lot of wonderful content on people who are living the transgender life, those who have gotten the surgeries done, but they did not work for them and they are not happy. And that is the thing about the surgery, you can't go back. This is why I don't believe in getting it done for a child, because a lot of these people are now adults and they regret, the men regret having the surgery. They want to go back and they can't. So hell yeah, I agree with Tennessee law. You cannot have this performed on a child in the state of Tennessee. And we're also going to talk about transgender identity. Do you agree with me in walking around with clothes? We had this conversation on this network a few years ago, and I will possibly revise this content again. How do you feel about men dressing in women's clothes and wanting to be identified as a she or a her, or a miss or a madam? Same thing with a female, calling her a him, a he. Would you identify him as a her, knowing that it's a he? Because, a lot of these people get very irate, upset because you're not identifying them in the sex that they want to be called, the preference rather. Frankly, I'm just going to be truthful. I don't condone calling a man a woman, nor a woman a man. I don't care if she is dressing in masculine clothes. I still would refer to her as a her and a she. Same thing for a man. You're dressed in women's clothes. I know that you are a male. You are still a male to me, a man to me. That's my commentary. Thank you so much. You all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Tomorrow's a great day for the queen. I get my furniture delivered. Amen. Thank you, Jesus. I will give you a quick video of it when it arrives and I unwrap it out the plastic. Hopefully it can be brought tomorrow because that's supposed to be the day. They don't have help with delivery, which makes no sense because it's like, how do you sell furniture and you don't have anyone to deliver the furniture? They can't keep anybody. Second place I went to where the furniture company don't have drivers. Very sad. It's very sad. So Queen is trying to get the apartment, you know, trying to get it a little jazzy, a little step by step. So I still got a few more things I need to get, but the living room will be fully furnished except for a coffee table. I'll need a coffee table and a rug, and I need something else to put my big boy TV on. But other than that, she'll be ready to go. And I would like a little small round table for dining. I got a corner over there, but they threw it another because Queen is good with bargaining. Oh yeah, honey, I'm a hustler by nature. I told him, that other chair over there in the corner, I'd like it for free if you don't mind. I said, I'm paying you this nice lump sum of money for two pieces of furniture. Can you throw in that other little gently used chair over it? Can I get it for free, please? I spoke to the manager because baby boy was scared to make any deals. So he said, you'll have to talk to the manager. So I told the manager, do you mind throwing in that other little sitting chair? Because I was going to buy them anyway at one point. And now I've been talking to buying this other group. Can I get one of them chairs for free? He said, sure, why not? Shut your mouth. I'm a bad, you know what, honey. Now all I need to do is be able to talk Satan out of his day job, and everything will be all right. I've enjoyed you all so much. Thank you, Lisa. No Perspective, Zenobia. Anybody else I forgot? Thank you so much for joining me. God bless all of you. Please have a wonderful weekend. It's going to be 78 degrees in Knoxville, Tennessee on Sunday. I don't know that I'll be going anywhere, but any day of this weekend that it's nice, I'll probably sit out, get a little suntan, get some vitamin D, because I do need some vitamin D. Thank you all. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this live. Please comment below this video and give me your opinion and any experiences you have had with pastors, any negative experiences. And it doesn't even have to be anything sexual, but just any negative experiences that you have had. Give me the 411. I love you too, Zenobia. Thank you. My only Facebook friend. We don't give that Facebook information out. Because some people act a little creepy, so you have to be careful with that. But Zenobia, she's my Facebook friend. Thank you, sweetheart. Bless you, darling. I'm out of here because I got to put something in my belly. I've got to stop eating late because it is not good. As you can see, Queen's getting a little under the chin, but I do believe it's my thyroid causing this little gobble too, because as most of you know, I don't have any thyroid in here to control my metabolism. I'm only working on meds for metabolism and naturally having to eat right and exercise. So that's why I got out today to try to, do a little running around. Ooh, if only you knew. I'll be back. Get your questions ready. Get your commentary ready. We're going to talk about these kids. And if you'd like to share your experiences with any children that you may have that identify with the opposite sex, please feel free to share. This is a safe space. We can agree to disagree. But I like to hear from people who have had any type of experience pertaining to the topic at hand. And if you know anyone who is dealing with this, feel free to share the information that I will be going live tomorrow, and we will be talking about children and the identity crisis. You've been listening to the Vault XL.